Hi, I'm Kieran Naughton, and welcome to the Kieran Naughton channel on YouTube. So the NRL is on Channel 9, and the reality TV show The Block is also on Channel 9, which is, if you don't know what The Block is, it's a show where, it's a reality TV show, where every day Australian couples get a really crappy rundown house and they spend the entire show doing it up. Then at the end of the show, it goes to auction, and whoever gets the most money from the auction wins the comp, Yeah. But yeah, so it's pretty fitting that NRL and The Block are both on the same channel, because I think there's a few NRL teams that needs to do some reno this season to get ready for future seasons. Right now in the NRL, there are two type of teams. Teams that can win the comp and teams that cannot win the comp. Teams that can't win the comp, the Cowboys, who I go for, so I'm not bad mouthing, Dragons, Bulldogs, Warriors, Titans, blah, blah, blah. And I think these teams need to be true to themselves. They need to admit that they aren't going to win this year, but use this season as an opportunity to blood young players, make a few signings and get ready for next year. I think the prime example of this is those years when Newcastle went terrible. They blooded a lot of youngsters, the Safini brothers, Lachlan Fitzgibbon. Brisbane, their whole team at the moment is mostly made out of juniors that they blooded. I know Brisbane aren't going too good at the moment, but they're still one of the teams that can still win the comp. But they got to start winning soon. Teams need to get rid of the dead wood. If a player's old and they're going to leave the club, or they're close to retiring and they're out of form, drop them. They're just taking a job of a youngster. I'm a fan of Paul Green from the Cowboys. I think he's a good coach. And I'm still a fan of the Cowboys, even though we're a bit shaky this year. I still believe that there is a premiership in our future, just not this year. But Paul Green, who I like, and apparently he might leave at the end of the year, so that might suck. But Paul Green is doing the same thing that our former coach Neil Henry did, where he was too loyal to certain players and wasn't bringing enough youth. Neil Henry didn't even want to put Jason Talamoto into first grade. Now, he's the freaking best block in the game, and they're saying he might be the best forward in the history of the game. But Neil Henry, he wasn't a first grader, yeah. But, Justin O'Neill, the centre, no offence to Justin O'Neill, he's a premiership player, played Origin, blah, blah, blah. But he's not hanging the best couple of years. His defence does not exist. But to be fair, Eston Masters, our other centres, going pretty bad as well. The Cowboys are pretty much a donut at the moment. No centres, people just running in, scoring a try. But anyway, Justin O'Neill, apparently, last year, the year before, we tried to get rid of Justin O'Neill, but he refused to go because he was on a contract. So they told him to leave. He's like, no, which is fair enough because, a contract's a contract. But he said no. Then they just kept using him. It's like, if you wanted him to go, you think you would stop using him. Then he was like, this is crap, I'm going somewhere where I can get an opportunity. No, they're using him every week, even though he's been playing below average every week, It's kind of like, say you're at a party in high school, you go to a high school party, and one of the loser kids or one of the try-hard kids you hate keep hanging around you, and you want him to go away, but he won't go away. But so instead of ignoring him and just not paying any attention to him and hoping he gets bored and goes away, you start talking to him and be like, oh, hey, Chris, what are you drinking? Chili's extra dry. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool party today. Yeah, but no, the Cowboys keep using him. The Cowboys have a lot of good up and coming backs. A lot of players with a lot of skill and names that I can't pronounce because I'm a freaking idiot. But so I'm not going to name a few players. But yeah, it's good that we're using Jay Clifford, who's a young half. We're only really using him because Michael Morgan's injured, and he's off for a while. So And I think when he comes back, maybe put Jake Clifford on the bench, make him a super sub. Bod Green did a good thing, and it would have been hard. He dropped the hooker, Jake Granville, who was our premiership winning hooker, and a couple of seasons ago, he was our best player. But last couple of seasons, he's been pretty average. He's been dropped. We've got Reece Robson, who we got from the Dragons, who's a good young player. We also got Ruben Cotter. I used to hate Josh McGuire. I think he's a dirty player. But he seems to be one of the only forwards, apart from JT, Jason Tolomoto, who's doing anything. He's got a career high of most hit-ups in a season, so that's pretty good, and the season's only just started. But I think Jordan McLean, we paid a lot of money for him, and he hasn't necessarily delivered. Gavin Cube is my favourite player of all time, so I'm not going to go too harsh on him, but I think I'll not drop him because he's my favourite player. I'm a bit biased. But maybe put him on the interchange, make him a super sub as well, make him play 20 or so minutes. Half, I don't think he has 60 minutes in him anymore. And if we limit to how many games he plays, he might be able to play again next season because I like him. He's a great player. I actually met him. He's nice. But that's not why he's my favourite player. I was a fan of his playing style when I met him. So yeah, we win. But we got a lot of good juniors coming up. We got Emery Pereira, Corey Jensen. He's 26, so he's not really young, but 26 is a good age for a front row. We've got Tom Gilbert, who played first grade. So yeah, he's a tackling machine. We've got need players like that. Moving on to another team that needs reno is the Dragons. Now, they got rid of James Graham, which is kind of good because James Graham was a great player. He'll go down as one of the best imports this game's seen. But this season, he was not the player he used to be. He wasn't up to form. And another player that they should get rid of, release early, is Tyson Frizell. I know what you're thinking. Tyson Frizell is one of our best players, but he's signed a deal with Newcastle next year. He signed it actually before this season. And he kind of insulted the club saying he wants to go somewhere where he can win a premiership. So get rid of him. I know he's a good player, but get rid of him. Maybe you can get a trade for him. You won't get a superstar for him because Newcastle won't do that. But maybe a player like Josh King, who I think he's a first grader. He has skill, definitely good enough to be in first grade. He just isn't good enough to be in this current Newcastle team, which is pretty stacked. But I think he's good enough to be in the St. George team. The Sims brothers are interesting. Broncos might take Corbin Sims back. They seem to be needing some experience to lead their youth around. They signed Ben Tier for some reason. I wouldn't have done that. Yeah, Tarek Sims I was a big fan of when he was at the Cowboys. But, I don't know, since he left the Cowboys, he hasn't been that good. I mean, he was at the Newcastle Knights when they were terrible, and you see him joking and stuff after the game. The team's just lost 5 straight games, and he's mucking around, not taking it serious. I mean, Dan Gagai, when he was in the Newcastle team and they got smashed over and over again, he was actually crying after the game once. Now that's what you want to see. You want to see people crying, like in the block where they get to the halfway mark of the show and they start crying. It's I don't think I can do this. Well, you signed up. I don't feel sorry for you. Maybe the people in the first season of the block, you didn't know what they were getting into because it hasn't been on TV before and they haven't seen it. Yeah, they were allowed to cry. But people in the 5th, 6th season, you had a whole bunch of seasons to watch. And you was oh, it's hard. I didn't know we have to do this. Really? Because I did exactly the same stuff in the last 5 to 6 seasons. It's like me going on Survivor and be geez, I was expecting there to be more food than this. Or me going to the Big Brother house and be oh, I wasn't expecting to be surrounded by fuckwits. Yeah. So that's my video. So the whole point of this video is teams kind of know when they're not going to win the comp. Even at the beginning of the year, they'd be they look at their roster and how they went last year and be yeah, we're not going to win. Let's just try to sign a few players, and bring up youth, flood the youth, bring the youth in the hard times, then it will pay in the good times, you know. Clubs have done it. It's shown. I don't know why we're not doing it. I don't know why teams use the same 17 players week in, week out when they're all out of form and there's a whole bunch of youth, young kids just carving up in reserve grade. It's just madness. You know, they say the definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the same result. You know, that's what these coaches are doing. And this is one of the reasons why at least 2 of these coaches will be fired this year. Well, the Warriors already fired Stephen Kearney, but who will be next, you know? The Sharks is another team which won't win the comp this year when I listed off a bunch of teams. But the Sharks are actually blooding players, so that actually is a team which is doing what I'm saying, you know? And the Cowboys, we have good juniors, but we let them all go, which is annoying. I mean, Ponga, we let go. Kickow was a junior from Panther. He's at Panthers now carving up. The redhead from the Raiders was a Campbell junior. And that prop who's carving up at the Sharks was a Campbell junior. And we all let him all go. And I know people saying, oh, you can't keep all your juniors because of salary caps. Can we at least keep one? Now, we had Cal and Ponga, and we said we won't offer him money because we got Lachlan Coote, which is fair enough. Lachlan Coote won us the premiership, and he was in pretty good form. But then, when we let Ponga go, we also let Coote go. Like, what? What the hell? And we had money to spend. We could have kept Cal and Ponga on a little bit of cheaper money, been forked out. I mean, we paid $1 million for Valentine Holmes, which he might be worth it. See how it goes. He got injured. And we paid a fortune for freaking Jordan McLean, and he hasn't done anything. So we could have afforded to keep Ponga. We could have at least afforded to keep... Kick-out would have been cheap. Like, it's just annoying. That's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Kieran Dorton, out.